right, be honest, not feeling good about this. Only 2 miles of range left. We have 7 miles to go. It says we're going to get there with negative 2%.
Morning, folks. It's an early morning here at the Gjeebs organization, and we're doing a new test. I am going to see if in the real world we can get 300 plus miles out of the brand new Model Y refresh, the Juniper, the 26, everything people say it's not called. And then over here, the Model Y Performance. Quick correction, this is a Model 3 Performance, not a Model Y. The Model Y Performance normally only gets 303 miles of range, but I've put these forged wheels on from Atomic Wheels, and that has extended to the range, and in my testing, it said we should get about 340 miles of range. The trip that we're doing is 312 miles up to Las Vegas from Phoenix. We're going to just try to drive as efficiently as possible. We're going to drive the speed limit, no air conditioning, and see if we can stretch these cars out. Also, keep this in mind. This trip is 5 hours. It's just under 5 hours, and people say, well, 300 miles isn't enough. In 5 hours, I'm needing to pull over. So we're going to see what happens here. We're going to do check-ins every 50, 150, 250 miles, and we'll just see how it goes. Also, this video is brought to you by Spigen. They have some incredible accessories that I'll be showing you in this video.
Another thing we've done on this trip, I've made sure tire pressure's cold, 42 PSI in both vehicles. Big issue, it says I need to stay below 58 miles per hour to reach the destination with above 7% battery. So I've set my arrival state of charge to 5%. It wants me to charge in Kingman. It does it, which is about 200 miles away. It doesn't even think we're gonna get remotely close in one charge. And I don't think, let me see what the projected is. Consumption, my projected range on consumption right now is 302 miles. Yeah, it's close, but it's not close. It's not like it's 320 miles. We have to get 312 miles. The other thing that's kind of against us today is wind, but there's only so much I can do. I'm doing my best. We're going the speed limit, and that's all we can do. I even turned the headlights off. The only thing that's running in this car is my mouth. So, we gotta use the turn signal. That's energy to light that LED up. God, if everyone thought this way about money, there'd be no debt. But that's why we're here at the Gjeebs organization. We're here to solve your financial problems. We're here to act as a guiding light through this life. And we're here to tell you about electric vehicles and vehicles in general. That is the mission of the Gjeebs organization. That's what we do here. We're a fiduciary. We're with Fisher Investments. So you mean you don't scam your clients? We do at Fisher. I've been having this twitch in my eye. And then of course, I say nothing about it, just think about it, and then everything on Instagram's like, if you have a twitch in your eye, it's because you're doing this and that. And you could have lymphoma. And if you just take Zancorp will solve your Zancorp in your eyeball. Just ask your doctor about Zancorp. We're on the bell curve. Detour Dan here. So it's interesting, I do not have access to autopilot. Andrew just texted me from the Model 3. I'm kidding. Siri texted me from the Model 3. And said that they do not have autopilot. So it must be, I didn't know autopilot was run off of I guess, I don't know why it would be failed in both cars. Is there a network outage? Someone will have to explain that in the comments below. All right, good news. We're gonna arrive with negative 12% state of charge. It was at negative 27%. So things are already improving. And then also, if you didn't know, this is a very helpful app here, the Energy app. This gives you your real world projected range, and now you can see our projected range is 311 miles based on average consumption, 232 watt hours per mile. So if you're ever driving your car and you're you don't trust this number up here that says 283, check out this number down here in the Energy app. This is gonna be the most effective way to see how much range your car has based on real-time data and how you're driving. So we'll keep checking in.
All right, we are 37.8 miles out from the starting point, and currently we're at 273 miles of range or 89% battery. And we have 273 more miles until we get to the supercharger. I'm kind of curious on if the car will be able to make it all the way. I believe it will be possible because the state of charge on arrival when we first left said negative 17%, and now we're all the way up to 3%, and I think it's just going to go up. But there's a certain point on the way to Las Vegas where there's just usually a crazy amount of wind, so I'm not sure. I'll check in at 50 miles and see where we're at. All right, so official 50-mile update. We are 4 hours and 1 minute away, or 261 miles, and my range up here says 261. It says 3% on arrival. Again, started from negative 17, climbed up to 3%, 198.5 watt hours per mile average on the current drive. So it's looking pretty good. So yeah, we're in Surprise, Arizona right now. Next update is in about 100 miles, I believe, and we'll see where we are in 150 miles.
All right, thank you, Andrew, for the update there. But over here, another tip for you if you're new to your Tesla. Click these 3 dots while you're in navigation mode, and then you click Set Arrival Energy, and then you can change that to your comfortable arrival energy. Maybe that's 50%, you want to be really conservative, or if you're like me, we throw it all the way down. We blow that battery out. So just another tip, really useful for road trips. You can travel more how you want. Tesla, on your terms. $50-mile update. Car showing 261 miles of range. So we've gone 50 miles, but it's reporting like we've gone 40-some miles, 45, 46 miles. So we're at 50 miles in. We're looking good in terms of efficiency. We're running efficient, but I don't know. It says 297 miles of range on the car, and we are 260 miles from the destination. The destination we're going to is 7400 South Las Vegas Boulevard. There's a supercharger there. Personally, I don't think the Model Y is going to make it. I think the Model 3 is going to make it no problem. And it's interesting, on the Model 3, it lets you in the software show that you've put the 18-inch wheels on it, but it doesn't reflect the efficiency that comes with having 18-inch wheels on it. So it's kind of interesting. But Andrew, when I was talking to him earlier, said it was showing 409 miles of range based on his current efficiency that we were running about 12 miles ago. So it is crazy what the factory wheels can do if you're driving efficiently. It's not very hot out. It's 64 degrees. We're not running air conditioning. Again, this is an efficiency. We're stretching to see if this is possible. I would have driven a decent amount faster over what we've just covered. And again, to people who are like, yeah, the EVs are slower on road trips. Yeah, I'm not arguing with you, but it's a 15-minute charge stop is what the difference is. That's the charging. You do have to get off the highway, so maybe add 5 minutes to get off of the highway to the charger in Kingman, but it's really not that big of a deal. And when you look at, are you really going to drive for 5 hours? Now, psychopaths in the comments will say, I drive my diesel BMW X5 800 miles and I don't pull over to eat. I don't pull over for my kids. I pull over for nobody but God. And that's fine too. Update on autopilot. It does work again, but unfortunately, since I've gone into the settings and put it on the basic what is it even called that I'm in? Traffic aware cruise control. So I'm in dynamic cruise control, which means it will keep pace with the traffic in front of you. It'll stop and go, but it will not steer you. And I'm now locked out because I have to put the car in park to do that. Or I could just switch profiles, probably switch profiles and get back into it. But it is working again. I think it was just the road or something. But 50 miles in, everything's going fine. Let me show you some of these accessories from Spigen for the new Model Y and a few for the Model 3.
So Spigen was nice enough to send me a whole bunch of accessories, and I've used their stuff for years, but they had some new ones that came out. The first thing I need to show you is this cable garage door pass protector. This is excellent if you're putting your car outside and the charging cable comes from inside the garage, because you can slide the Tesla cable underneath this perfectly and protect it from being crushed by the garage. Second thing, we'll open this up. So they have 2 options here for the J1772 adapter. All Teslas come with this adapter, but this is a really nice storage case. It's just magnetic and it's a hard case,
So you're able to slide it in here and have it protected in that way. So you can do this, and it has Velcro on the back to keep it stored kind of wherever you want it. You can see it sticks right there. The other thing Spigen has done is they've increased the storage on the Model Y. So normally you have this right here, but with this Spigen tray, you have a little area to store your sunglasses. And another accessory that we like is the screen cleaning device with the secret pop-out mustache right here. So this gets all the heavy dust off of the screen. Okay, so once that's all removed, I'm going to put it into screen clean mode, show you exactly how it works. You can see all the fingerprints we have, and you can see it just erases all of the fingerprints there from that portion of the screen, which I needed to do. So again, just a really well thought out device, and that all covers up, and it even comes with a little backup pad for cleaning your screen. So you have that one. Once that's worn out, you got your backup right here, and you can see how it works perfectly. So really nice device that is easily stowed away with one of their things. The other thing I like about the Spigen stuff is look at how just the logo, it's just a really clean look, and everything is well built. The bottom of this is like rubberized as well. So just a really nice device that looks like it came with the vehicle. And this final product here, you guys are going to love it, is the Tap Lock wireless car charger. So you can see it mounts to the corner of the screen here, and there's a warning that says it may not work properly with a screen protector. After seeing it, I think it will. But they also include these little cable management mounts here. Some of them have like a Velcro bottom, and then some of them are an adhesive mount, and that is to hide and tuck away the cable here. But as you can see on the side here, you should be able to tuck the cable up under here with a pry tool and then bring it back into here to run power to it. And they also have one of these that doesn't have power to it that I've also used, and it's excellent because you have your wireless chargers right here. You actually screw this part here to adhere the stick-free, so this is a stick-free mount on the back of your screen. A lot of people worry, oh, like, is it gonna melt off in the heat or anything like that? But you can see here that just in a way suctions to the back of the screen. It's very sturdy. You can see everything it's built out. It even has these rubber grips on the inside to go around the edge of your screen. So you put it on like this, and then you take the back and twist it into place, and it suctions and locks into place. So it's sturdy, it's residue-free, and has a bunch of different angles, all while charging your phone. This is a very cool phone charger and holder from Spigen. All of these will be linked in the description. They can be purchased directly on Amazon.com. Spigen's been an awesome partner, and I used to sell their stuff at my old job, so it's really cool to get to work with them now. Back to the video. All right, so Andrew just had to pull off and go to the bathroom because he has the bladder of a 2-year-old. And so we're heading, we're on our way. That's why I'm not drinking any water. I'm not eating, not even thinking. I'm just locked in on this journey. But that also is a reality of it. Like, people have to go to the bathroom, okay? So you could plan a charging stop around that. There's a charger right over there he could have gone to and made that stop more efficient. So man down. He literally pulled off the side of the road, went into a McDonald's, and will be right back on. So minimal effect on the test. Plus, I think the Model 3 is going to be fine, but we are moving along fine here. I'm starting to lose my mind a little bit because I don't even have the radio or anything on. So when I talk, it's weird. I like scare myself because you hear a noise. I'm feeling primal. Ride quality in this thing is great. Noise in the cabin is excellent. No real complaints. Again, it's only 57 degrees outside. We're up a little bit in elevation. Look at that. Got some rodeo over there. Yellowstone. Yep. Oh, boy. But yeah, no signs of having to go to the bathroom or having any blowouts. I feel very clean right now. I feel lean. I feel athletic. I think it's going to be a great journey. And the speed limit here is only 45. Got a bunch of horses in front of me. Wickenburg Marine. What does that mean? No water out here. Another experience I had recently that reminded me, just with EVs in general, some things that you take for granted once you own one is how well they handle. I had a Nissan Armada rental car in Florida, and the Armada is actually great. The V8 in that thing is fun. It sounds good. And I think I was a little over, I was like 17.4 miles per gallon, mix of city and highway. So I thought that was pretty decent. When you turn it, because the engine sits up high, and with the batteries how they sit down low in an EV, it's funny how much roll is in the car, and you forget about that. And that's another thing with these things handle so well, and the rollover rating, it's nearly impossible to roll these things. Just another thing that I noticed going back into a gas car recently that I'd forgot about. I also forgot I put the 3D mats in the new Model Y. So a lot of people who own Model Ys are upgrading to the new one, and they're asking, do their 3D mats work on the new one? They like 95% do. There's a little bit of a gap. So, but if you're looking to save money, they're expensive. I don't think you're really gonna mind having the older ones in your car, and they're working on 3D scanning the new ones to make the fit absolutely perfect. So code is in the description. It's Gjeebs 3D10, as you can see on the screen at 3dmatsusa.com. So yes, they fit, but it's not as tight as they normally would be. But if you're looking to save money, then yeah, I think you would be fine. And if not, then you can buy the new ones when they come out. But I have the old ones in here to just test them out, and it's fine. All right, so you can see here, staying below 70 miles per hour, saved 15.8 miles of range. But a 7.1 mile per hour wind cost us 7 miles of range on this trip so far. I love having this app. Continuing to show improvements here, getting there with -8% battery. So kind of holding still, and it says stay below 65 to reach destination, and we're going 65 because that's the speed limit. So I don't know. I still doubt this making it there, but we'll see. Also, to those of you who are new here, I do YouTube full-time. This is what I do for work. I'm working right now. I've been making YouTube videos since 2011, so around 14 years now. And for over 4 years now, I've been doing it full-time professionally. And a lot of people aspire to do that. Now I'm in the position where I've been doing it for years. It's very normal to me, but it's just not something that happens overnight. And I had a full-time job. I did it through college. I made YouTube videos through college. I did it through having a full-time job, being in a relationship, all of that stuff. I was able to make it work. And a lot of people will say, well, and what I'm telling you can apply to anything you're targeting to do, any dream job, professional athlete, doctor, getting promoted, being a director, whatever you aspire to be, within reason. Like if I said I wanted to go to the NBA, might need to check into a mental hospital. But being a YouTuber and being passionate about something and pursuing it until you make it work is absolutely possible. And I put in the reps to where when I got into the position to be able to go full time, I was ready for it. You're not going to be ready 1 year in, not knowing how to edit, not knowing how to be on camera, not knowing how to work with sponsors and companies and what makes a YouTube video work. You need to learn these skills. And there's no magic trick. There are things you can learn that will make you more efficient. There are absolutely things I know that a beginner does not know and that I'm really good at. I can make any video on YouTube do well. Not go viral, but do well just by setting up the title, the thumbnail, and then the way the video is formatted. I know how to set up a video on YouTube. But no matter what you aspire to do, it's going to take time. You're going to go through low points, and those low points are what eliminate 99% of people. Earlier this year, I kind of had a low point in terms of like my views were doing well. I just didn't feel great. The videos weren't performing like I wanted them to. It felt kind of stale. I went through a low point, but I've been through low points before. And that is when you learn the most. That is when you decide, okay, either I'm gonna go back to the comfort zone, or I'm gonna go outside of my comfort zone and I'm gonna find ways to make videos more creative. I'm gonna work out harder, like if you're a professional athlete or aspiring to be that, or I'm gonna spend more hours at work not sitting on the toilet and actually doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So as someone that was in corporate America, I'll tell you this, if you're looking at me and you're like, man, I wish I could just drive to Las Vegas and do a range test and eat Chili's and that would be my job, I'll tell you this, there is a lot more pressure on you as the content creator or the business owner because you have to perform. You can't show up and have an okay day. You can't show, like at my old job, I could show up and, I could have an okay day and whatever, and that paycheck is still coming. And that's what I appreciate looking back on it is your paycheck was coming. Like think of how many average or below average people work corporate jobs and get by and do totally fine. And their managers or whoever doesn't even know that they're capable of doing more because they're comfortable getting that paycheck. They stay in the comfort zone. Going out on your own, you have to be self-motivated. You have to be disciplined. You have to be self-motivated to make it work and research in whatever you're doing. Because if you're not, and you're doing it for money, or you're trying to be famous or something like that, it's just absolutely not going to work. So my message is that whatever you're aspiring to do, you can do it. It's going to take time. It took me 10 years to get this channel to a point, to get it figured out, to be like, okay, we can do this full time and this is how it all works. And I'm confident that I could do that for other people's YouTube channels. Just understand that you're going to go through low points and then you're going to have the highs. But in those low points is when you need to buckle down and learn, look what's worked in the past, and just keep fighting through it, because eventually, boom, it pops and you find more success than you could have ever imagined. That's always how it has worked for me, staying on that consistent path. And that's your daily motivational speech from the Gjeebs organization. Okay, 154 miles traveled so far. Computer shows 152 miles of range left. That's estimated. And then let's see what this says. This says 156 miles left based on consumption and how we're driving. So, yes, ma'am. Oh, another thing. The sound of the navigation sounds like it's coming like right out of the screen and talking to you. So it's really interesting wherever that speaker is. It does a really nice job of pointing it directly at you, and it's very clear. So that's another thing I like about this new Y. Yeah, I don't see, I think the Andrew in the Model 3, well, I'll let him talk about it, but he should be right around 0% arrival. I am showing negative 7% arrival. So we are just beating or matching the stated range, but again, no air conditioning, going exactly the speed limit. Most people are not going to do that, so I just crossed Tompkins Canyon. Now, Tompkins went out west, and he was a gold miner. I said, sir, don't go to Tompkins Canyon if you want to live. I said, don't play it again, sir. Couldn't even make it to Tompkins Canyon on a charge. That's why I do not drive electrical vehicles. Thank you very much. I'm driving the new Model Y. It's a great car. Does not get enough range. There's not enough battery in it. Not enough range. Stupid people. Elon, it used to be stupid. Then he worked for me. Now he's a smart guy. He's really smart. Not as smart as me, but close. Stay below 64. This is a communist car. There's a lot of communism. Tells me to stay below 64. I said, I'm not staying below 64. You're a loser. Rosie O'Donnell would stay below 64, not me. I was gonna marry Rosie, then I found Melania. I said, this is really nice. Look at the ranchers out there. They all voted for me. They voted for me. They voted for Elon.
Just passing through Joshua Forest Scenic Road. So far, the car has been pretty comfortable. It's in the standard suspension setting. Ben has the 18-inch atomic wheels on, and it feels pretty similar to my 2024 standard range rear-wheel drive Model 3. So it's pretty comfortable, fairly quiet. I'm checking in at my 150 mile mark. Currently we're sitting at 229 watt hours per mile with 2 hours, 23 minutes to go, 160 miles, negative 1% on arrival so far with a rated range of 156 or 51%. So I'm debating whether I'll need to stop to charge right before heading into the city. I'm gonna try to go directly to the supercharger, but it's cutting it close. It just changed to 0% arrival. So, I mean, it's looking good, but yeah, I don't know. But drive is going good so far. Not much traffic, a little bit of wind, 9 mile an hour winds. So I don't know if that, it says west. So yeah, wind is going to be affecting this drive. Yeah, I'll check in at 200 miles.
Another step I've just taken to increase efficiency is I've turned the brightness on the screen here down to 0. Now it says 0, but you can still see the screen very easily. One of the things I loved about the Mercedes EQSs that I've tested is they have, I think it's called range mode or efficiency mode or whatever. It shuts down everything in the car and adds like 20 or 30 miles of range. If you're running AC, sound system, all of that stuff, it puts it into efficient mode. And you can select or deselect certain things and see how much range that adds or decreases. And I think that's really cool. That's one more area where I wish Tesla would be a little bit more transparent. It's like, how can I make this as efficient as possible? Can you turn it into front wheel drive only and decouple the rear drive? Actually, it does do that. Actually, it does do that. A lot of people do it. So yeah, we're just, it says we're gonna get there with negative 6% battery. So we're really close. I kind of have to go to the, I've got to pee, and we're close. We're 2 hours and 10 minutes from the destination, Las Vegas, Nevada. We're almost there. We're gonna meet Dana White. He's a friend of mine. Yeah, it's just really close. And then the other part of it is, like, this is my car. I don't want to run the battery out to zero because it's not good for it to do that, but you gotta do it for the people. You know why? I have this car because of the people, so I take that back. Interstate 93, shout out Interstate 93. No one ever probably shouted out Interstate 93, so that's a world first here. Another world premiere! This is what happens when you drive around with the radio off for so long. This is what happens. You lose your mind, and you're like, how do you come up with say these things? It's like, well, spend some time with yourself in the dark, in the silence. You'll come up with these things. Take a look at this truck behind me here. Thing is going sideways up the road. Look at that. Chassis just twisted, just going sideways. Hey, I think it's out of alignment. No, I think you're good. Just cruising along here. Says we're going to get with -2%. We're going to make it to the charger. Also, there's a blue Mustang up there just beside Crooked Truck, which is now in front of me. And there were two dudes, Florida license plate, like two 45-year-old dudes, and just a random girl in the back. All of age, but just looks like some weird things were happening in that car. Like, why'd you stuff her in the back? You creep. What are you, a creep? They call me the King of Tulsa. King of Tulsa always comes out on road trips. All right, so we are reaching the breaking point of the trip here. It says I have to stay below 67 to reach the destination with above 1% state of charge, as you can see there. We're about to go by the, I don't know if these are, well, the White Hills charger is like, we have an hour left in the trip. I've been driving for 4 hours. And I have to go to the bathroom, but I'm gonna hold it. It's not terrible, but I do have to go. Normal situation, I would have charged and gone to the bathroom and been comfortable. So 4 hours of driving right now, and we are about 250 miles into the trip. We're just under 250. And it's really, really pushing it. Oh, look at that. There's a certified cat scale. Get my weight on there. Shout out to Carl's Jr. and Del Taco just popping up joints in the middle of the desert. Vegas policy. So yeah, we're at a breaking point. Now the car's been excellent. It's just really solid. I haven't been able to listen to the sound system or anything like that because we are on an efficiency test. To those of you people who say, yeah, I drive all that distance, no, you don't. It's the vocal minority is what that is. Just yelling into the void about their achievements because they have no real achievements. They just yell about not having to pee for a long amount of time. And that's not really an achievement. Quietness of the cabin is great. The suspension's great. What's funny is, you know, I have no air conditioning. There's no air moving in here. But when a big truck or an RV, so there's the chargers right there. Those are the White Hills chargers. Excellent. That actually, are those Rivian chargers too? I'm gonna wreck. Those chargers saved my wife and I. We got caught in an awful snowstorm here years ago in our original Model Y. And I filmed that video. I'll actually link it below if you want to see that. But we almost got stranded, and those chargers had just been built, thank God, and we were fine. But the Model Y was excellent in the snow. There was one point in the road where the interstate was shut off because of all the accidents, and everyone's like, turn around, you're not gonna be able to go up this icy hill. And I'm like, well, I think I can, because the car just seemed to handle so well in the snow, and it went right up an ice-covered hill where no other car could. So that was really impressive. But yeah, we're just really pushing it here. I don't know why it's braking right now. I was just about to say I just thought to myself, I have not had any phantom braking, but for some reason the car was slowing down there for whatever reason. Yeah, there it is. -2% battery, meaning we're not going to make it, but it's close enough for I feel like I kind of have to go for it. So, can shoot machine guns there. It's a little close to the interstate to be shooting machine guns, but you know. All right, so we went from arriving with -27% to now arriving right at 0% state of charge. I guess we are going for it. No issues with heat in the cabin or anything like that. It's 64 degrees outside. The new roof in this thing is amazing. They've done an excellent job with that, so It looks like we're gonna make it, or the battery management system could fail us like it did in my Rivian one time. It didn't fail us, it just like jumped. It was like a 20-mile jump out of nowhere. And also, if you're looking to buy a Rivian, I have a referral code that gets you $500 in credits, and those can be used toward getting a bike rack for your car or a charger for your garage or whatever you want. So if you're considering getting a Rivian, I've done a bunch of videos on this channel on them. They're excellent, and there's no reason you shouldn't use a referral link while they still have them.
All right, so I'm at 55 miles of range or 18% battery. I got 54 minutes, 57 miles, and 1% state of charge arrival. Currently drove 256 miles, 58.7 kilowatt hours used, and then 229.1 watt hours per mile average. So still don't know if I'm gonna stop. It keeps jumping between 0 and 1%, but looks like there are a few chargers on the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 supercharger stops as a backup. So I don't think I'll have to charge until I get to my final destination. So I may be able to do it all in one charge, but I will give you guys an update if I do have to charge.
I just drove past the Hoover Dam, and I don't know why I just thought this, but it's kind of cool. Like, tourism is cool. It's like kind of forgotten about. You're like stuff your head in your phone all day, and there's all of these cool things to see, especially on road trips, where you can just get off and go spend some time at the Hoover Dam. You can eat lunch there. You can get a tour of it. You can get a helicopter tour. There's a helicopter going overhead. There's just so many cool things to do, and so many people, unfortunately now, get caught up in their phones and they hate their neighbor because of how they feel about something. And it's like, we really need to go outside, people. Now, still watch my YouTube channel. Watch that in the hotel after you had a great day. But the Instagram, and I had to even take Twitter X off my phone for a little bit because I was just wasting time and seeing a bunch of negative stuff that I was like, this isn't doing me any good. It kind of paralyzes you in a way. You're just like, well, I got to keep scrolling to find the answer to life here. So anyways, ooh, plastic bottle. All right, so we're coming up on another supercharger here. This is it. That's the last charge. There might be one more. That is a charging stop right there that I've gone to in the past with my Model 3 Performance. Awesome charging stop. I think they're V4 stalls as well. So we are committed. 31 miles till our destination. 36 miles of range showing right there. We're all the way in at this point. There is no turning back. There's no second plan. I'm surprised at how the Model 3 I thought would be no issue, and it's also showing 0% state of arrival. So we are very close. There's our exit point of no return. That is the last charger you can see right there on the map. There's 11 stalls currently open. And it is also eye-opening. You know, every time you do these trips, you realize how many chargers are actually out there. And with Tesla opening up the network to other brands, I mean, it makes it, yeah, there's not as many as gas stations. It's not even close, but it's not as crazy as people think it is. It's really not. And then you factor in, I'm more impressed with my bladder than the battery on this thing. All right, let's get in an accident real quick. So the car is now entering a degraded performance mode. You can see those dots at the top just left of 63, basically saying you're not going to get full power if you floor the vehicle because it's so low on charge. 17 miles of charge left, 18 miles to our destination. And now we're going to hit some traffic. So, hey, is what it is. There's no point of no return is back there. I don't think the charging cable will stretch from where I'm at. Not feeling too good about this. For you degenerates out there, there it is. I gotta say, driving here is it's a special way to arrive. Because when you fly, you just fly in. But when you drive and you crest that hill and you see the strip, it's very exciting. Vegas, police. All right, be honest, not feeling good about this. Only 2 miles of range left. We have 7 miles to go. It says we're gonna get there with -2%. Let's see what percent we're at. We're at 1% battery. There's a buffer beyond 0. I don't know how much it is, and it's probably inconsistent based on how you've driven. So yeah, I don't know. The car could shut off at any moment and just probably go into limp mode on the side of the road. Got a Cybertruck coming up on me. So yeah, I'm not really sure what's gonna happen here. I'm drafting a truck right now, so that's helping a little bit, but ultimately we just have to, oh, there's more superchargers right there. Dang it, there's more chargers. Yeah, this is so close, but the good news is, I think we've crossed 300 miles of range. check that on trip. There we go. 304 miles of range, 74 kilowatt hours of energy used. So we got real world over 300 miles of range. We've exceeded what the car says it can get, and we're now at 0% battery. So yeah, we just gotta hopefully make it to this next charger. I guess I should have made that charger back there the target, but I don't know, I'm not as familiar with the chargers in Vegas. So yeah, a few more miles to go and we should make it, but we've cleared 300 miles of range in the real world. Again, air conditioning's off, but it is what it is. We did it. All right, home stretch, 0% battery, and gonna get there with negative. 1 mile left, 4 minutes. My mouth is dry, you know? You don't know. We are so close. This road's called Amigo. It is my Amigo. We're almost there, baby. This thing is solid. We're on some rough roads in Vegas, and the way the suspension eats everything up, it's just really well done. Come on, 0.9 miles. All right, folks, we made it. 0%, battery too low, charge immediately to ensure vehicle will restart. Lady beside me is in a Model Y smoking a cigarette, and I may ask her for one because that was close. All right, let's get this thing plugged in. My legs are numb. Just tap that. Boom, we're charging. Oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever sat still for that long, as you all can imagine. Let's see what the end result was here, because this is interesting. So there it is, 310 miles driven, 75 kilowatt hours pulled from the battery at an average rate of 242 watt hours per mile. Man, so we made it 310 miles on one charge in the new Model Y. Now, realistically, no one is going to be doing that running with no air conditioning, even though I didn't need it on this trip. I actually got a little chilly at one point. So definitely didn't need the air conditioning, but any regular person is going to be using it. So the range is excellent on this thing. So realistically, I think you could safely do 280 miles, but I was also going the speed limit. If you're going 80, a lot of parts of the country, not a lot, but some, the speed limit's 75. There's parts of Oklahoma and Texas that are 80 or 85. So, you know, you're going to be running more inefficiently in those areas. But if you need to push it, you can go a little under the speed limit. There were times that I was going like 63 and the speed limit was 65, or the speed limit was 75, I was going 73. So I went a little under to push it because I didn't want to get stuck on the side of the road, but we did it. 310 miles. And now we got to wait for Andrew. Andrew had to stop and pee twice. So yeah, maybe for the next trip, we'll get him a diaper. But yeah, I'm curious to see total energy consumed on the Model 3 Performance. So 75 kilowatt hours on this. What will the Model 3 be? All right. Grandma finally arrived. You made it.
I did make it.
I'll plug you in. That's what any good Tesla owner would do. They plug each other in. There we go, baby. All right, so let's go. Oh, Mountain Dew. That's why you're pissing all the time. So if we go to trip, oh, you had 4 miles left.
4 miles of battery.
So I'm curious. 314 miles, 70 consumed. I consumed 75 kilowatt hours. You just consumed 70.6. So yeah, just some efficiency differences of us going back. But damn, that's a good looking Y. But we made it. So you had 2 urination stops, which is understandable. But now I see why. You were sneaking Mountain Dew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, Andrew's fired. He'll be flying home. We're shipping the car back. I guess that one's broken. So how do you feel after that journey you just took?
My back is sweating. I didn't even use Suede Seat.
Yeah, I used it for like 5 minutes, setting 1.
You cheated.
I cheated a hair. Yeah, I didn't use air conditioning. No, never cracked a window. Luckily, it's a cooler day, so we're all right.
Yeah, no music either. So
no music. Yeah, that was I was like talking to myself. I was losing my mind. But we made it.
I didn't think you'd make it.
I didn't either. I mean, we left home. It said it was going to be negative 27%. So we made it. She looks good. And I also just got this fully tinted and ceramic coated. So that helped my efficiency as well because this thing is slick. Went with Expel's XR Plus ceramic tint. Obviously got it done at dynamic tint. But we made it. 314 miles for the 3, 310 miles for the Y. You can do it. And we did it. So at this charge stop, you have a full shopping center here. You have McDonald's, there's
tons of restaurants all within walking distance, and there's over 20 stalls. So they have these like all over. It's kind of crazy. Also, with the Model 3 Performance, there is no way you're going over 300 miles if you keep the stock wheels on it. So if you want to have a Model 3 Performance and you care about, oh, that warm air, oh, it feels so nice coming out of here. If you want to get over 300 miles of range, you have to go with the factory 18-inch wheel setup. Or I got these forged wheels from Atomic Wheels, and I put Salem tires on it as well. You can get those tires off Amazon, so I'll link those below. But it's just an all-season tire. It's like a winter setup for me in Phoenix. In case I go to Flagstaff, I do not want to have summer tires on. And this gets you an awesome amount of range. They're way more efficient. I'd be curious to put this back to back with a long range Model 3 to see what the differences are between the performance while having the same wheels. So because of this square setup, so 18-inch wheels, 235, 45, 18. It's also XL rating, and this can handle up to 168 or 69 miles per hour. Top speed of this is 163. So they're rated for the car. They're not a very expensive tire, but it gets the job done. It'll be totally fine. And ultimately, these things just look great side by side, charging up. The new Model Y is just so well done. The Hankook Ion Evos, the cabin, really happy with it.
All right, this is our reward. Soho Sushi Burrito, baby. Look at that. Look at the thickness on that. Oh my Lord.
So to come up to Las Vegas and to go that 310 miles, in the Model 3, that costs $9.80. In the Model Y, that costs $10.50 because charging at home for me costs 14 cents per kilowatt hour. That's all it was. We cleared the 300-mile barrier. And if you got the Model 3 rear-wheel drive, the current offering, that gets 370 miles of range on the highway. So that is excellent. And for the Model Y to be able to do that, it used 5 kilowatt hours more of energy on the trip because it's higher profile vehicle, SUV, compared to a sleek sedan. So I thought that was a really good test. I'm actually shocked that this was able to make it. And I'm shocked that this still showed 0% battery because there was still at least 8 kilowatt hours of pack left in this thing from the efficiency test that we've done. So I thought that was really impressive. This could probably get like 340 miles of range if we just kept pushing and pushing it. Now, I mentioned that this Model Y has been fully covered in paint protection film and a ceramic coating as well as the tint. So check this video out right here that covers everything that I've done to this vehicle. That will be really helpful to you. And thank you, Spigen, for sponsoring this video.